If y'all love black people, like this, comment, and share it if y'all love black people. You got a fetish for...
Hey there, sugar. If you've seen my content prior, then you're probably a little nervous right now because I'm quite notorious for dragging those who need to be dragged, not bullying. That's not what I'm going to do with you today because I can clearly see that you drag yourself enough. See, I understand that your words that you've turned outwards towards your sisters, which, by the way, is completely unacceptable and never going to be okay, and I'm going to need you to stop that right now because that is not what women do. That is what little girls do. Those words are actually words that you say to yourself entirely too often. It's also not a flex to be less than 125 because your value is not in the number on the scale or the tag on the inside of your clothes. You are always enough. You will always be enough regardless of what weight you are at. I pray that someday you can look in the mirror and see what I see when I look at you because you're beautiful. And I want you to know that. I hope you have the day you deserve.
Oh my God, I know, right? When are the radical feminists going to realize that their involvement in media is purely for men's enjoyment? And if we want to create an entire subgenre of storytelling where women exist purely to motivate male characters, that's perfectly within our rights. What do women want next? Like, to be represented by fully developed characters? When does it end? But all of that is a moot point because you're so right. It's not like there are mainstream directors or entire franchises that have built the entire basis for their storytelling off killing female characters for the development of their male protagonists. So glad you brought this up. It added so much to the conversation. As a man, your perspective on how women are portrayed in media is so very important. This was an important reminder lest we all forget.
Ladies, I need you to be a little bit more skeptical of these male allies you see online, whose entire platform is about them being an ally to feminism. A lot of these are the most narcissistic, self-absorbed assholes I've ever met in my life, especially the ones who are reluctant to use their platforms to highlight non-men feminists. Just a reminder that the title ally is earned. No one can self-declare that. That's the whole point of being an ally. If he's not trying to earn the title ally through his consistent actions and his commitment to learn, listen, and act, he is full of shit. If a male ally has no trace of pointing to women feminists, let alone any non-binary or trans individuals, in an attempt to direct his followers to defer to us on a topic that we know far more about than he does not get your praise, approval, follow, and comments like, protect him at all costs. Demand him that he shares his platform with non-men feminists. Demand him to be intersectional. Some of these male allies online are performative. Stop typing "you get it" on these men's
opinion you have that might piss some people off.
I'm not calling y'all crazy, but women have every right to be if they want to. Think about it. Y'all go through the most mentally and physically, and yet you're told to act like a lady. Y'all have to even expect some sort of sexual harassment or sexual assault from the opposite sex because boys will be boys. A lot of y'all can't even go a good month without your body acting crazy. Cramps? That alone is enough to go on a psychotic rampage. A lot of women are even taught, especially back in the day, to be submissive, to cook, to clean, to take care of, and carry children for men that they knew and know are not going to treat them right and don't see them as equal. Some of y'all are taught that your man is going to cheat on you and that you should be okay with it. Long story short, your life is a lie. Nothing y'all deal with is okay. And you deserve to be mad every damn day.
I recognize that I want to distance myself from my whiteness, even though I recognize that being white passing has a lot of privileges. If you're a white passing person like me, or you're just having thoughts about privilege and trying to figure out your place in the world, you're welcome to unpack here.
Research has shown that women's pain is taken less seriously than men's, and unfortunately, I've experienced this myself firsthand. Growing up, my favorite thing to do was climbing trees. I had a collection of birds' nests that were my prized possession. When I hit puberty, something changed. I was no longer the kid who pretended a deck railing was an Olympic bar, running and balancing for hours on end. Now, I was the kid who had to ask to sit down during dance rehearsal because I physically couldn't stand any longer. I tried to get help for the chronic pain and fatigue that had consumed my life. I visited doctors, found specialists, and underwent countless tests, but struggled to find anyone who would listen and take my concerns seriously. When the day finally came that I got my diagnosis, I breathed a sigh of relief. Finally, I would be treated and could take steps towards taking back my life. Right? My doctor told me there was a medication that could help, but she was unwilling to put me on the med because it could induce a miscarriage if I were to fall pregnant. I told her I wasn't sexually active. It didn't matter. I wasn't prescribed the medication that might have helped me.
Representative Yoho put his finger in my face. He called me disgusting. He called me crazy. He called me out of my mind. He called me dangerous. Representative Yoho called me, and I quote, a fucking bitch. I am here because I have to show my parents that I am their daughter and that they did not raise me to accept abuse from men.
They literally are filled with chicken noodle soup.
Clothes that were designed by white Western cultures, and she's going to a school that was designed by white Western civilization. But she's black, she gets to do whatever she wants. It's just white people who have to be put under control. She can take advantage of and appropriate white Western culture all she wants, wear their clothes, use their technology, go to their schools. But yeah, she has to harass a white guy for not combing his hair.
You know what, girl? Just go. You have no right to tell me what I can do. Huh? Yo, girl, stop touching me. Yo, girl, stop touching me right now.
So at this point in the video, she starts using physical force and intimidation because how dare that white guy not comb his fucking hair? And again, these people are just racist bigots who will resort to violence when they don't get their way. And all the while being complete hypocrites. Why don't you go attack this black guy for appropriating Japanese?
Pick-me girls are pick-me girls because they value male validation over sisterhood. Also, male validation isn't hard to get, you just need to allow them to sexualize you. And characterize yourself as one of the guys, because being into girly things is just wrong.
So I made this TikTok video a week or two ago where I talked about how I was going to raise my son to be a feminist and to respect women. It went a little bit viral and people lost their minds. There were a lot of fellow women sharing my same sentiment, but there were also an incredible number of incels and people that just don't understand what feminism is commenting about it. A lot of those people don't understand what feminism is and that it's completely different than misandry. Feminism does not equal women hating men. A common misconception that exists when a woman says that she's a feminist is people thinking automatically that she hates men. And that could not be further from the truth. And yes, men should and can be feminists. It is not limited to women. This confusion has become one of the reasons why feminism is feared and looked down upon across the world. Unlike what many people think, feminists do not intend to establish female dominance and to subjugate men. The aim of the movement is to erase patriarchy, which is an oppressive social system that has shackled and oppressed men, women, and those who refuse to conform to stereotypical gender roles, and anyone else who has dared to oppose it for millennia. In a patriarchal society, men are taught to be afraid to show fear, weakness, or any vulnerability, and are taught to hide all of their emotions, all to appear more manly. Their emotional intelligence is stifled due to this from a young age, and they continue to struggle with their relationships and communication for the rest of their lives. It is a huge reason why the male statistic for unaliving themselves is so high. Because of this societal pressure, they are afraid to seek help. They're afraid to seem weak. We have to remember when talking about human rights, it is so important that we address the suffering that patriarchy causes both men and women. It is for the eradication of this suffering that we need feminism. Misandry or man-hating has absolutely no place in the goals that feminists have. I want to raise my son to be a strong, emotionally intelligent young man that respects women and believes in consent. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you have an issue with that, the problem lies with you.